Okay, welcome to you all in this online class. Dear student, as we know, we are discussing about Union Parliament, Union Legislature. Today, we will discuss about Rajya Sabha because yesterday, till the function of the speaker we have studied. Today, we have to study the fact related to Rajya Sabha. But before starting this one, I want to recapitulate some topic that yesterday we have discussed. As we know, yesterday we have discussed about Lok Sabha, the House of the People, and all the facts were discussed. Next, last one was qualification. Second last one topic was the qualification of a person to be an MP, right? To be an MP. But before starting this one, I want to mute you all. Later on, I will unmute you. So please listen carefully. Okay. A person who is an Indian, whose age is 25 years, whose name is in the voter list, and keeps the necessary qualification as per the law made by the parliament, and he or she should not be the government servant, officer or employee. Such a person can contest election. Such a person can be the member of parliament because these are the qualifications of an MP. Okay. About the tenure we have discussed. Its tenure is 5 years, right? And there, in some circumstances, its meeting can be dissolved, it can be suspended, or it can be dissolved or extended for 1 year in a situation, in some predicament situation. The speaker and deputy speakers are the house officials. The speaker is generally elected from the majority party and deputy speaker is from opposition party. Be clear that it is not a rule but a tradition. एक परंपरा चली आ रही है. It happens so. Okay. Now after that, most important factors that you have studied was the power and function of speaker. Power and function of speaker. Actually, speaker presides over the meeting of Lok Sabha. Meeting is headed by Lok Sabha speaker. Here you are looking at on the screen. You are looking at the screen. Here you see his position is higher than others. Seat arrangement is higher. Rise is higher. Here speaker is sitting. Even PM, Prime Minister of India, addressing him and giving the message of information to the parliamentarians, right? Its main work is to maintain discipline and decorum of the house. Yesterday I also said here decorum means orderliness, or just like the adequate shistachar, right? Dignified behavior, you can say. Decorum means dignified behavior, ideal behavior. It should be mentioned. It should be maintained in the house, especially during the session. This work is looked after by the speaker and it comes under his jurisdiction. In a special situation, he can adjourn, break off or stop the session of the House. All the petition and documents is addressed to the House and these are received by him. Next, he has right to preside over the meeting of joint session of both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So this is the main function of the speaker. Now, who is the present speaker? Can anyone of you write in chat box? Tell me and the name of the speaker, and both the names are declared yesterday by me. I want to check your listening power and the memory power. I want to test your IQ. Okay, next topic is no. Arya Aditi has written Meera Kumar. She was during the Congress regime. Om Birla is the correct answer. Abhinav Archit Agarwal and then Venkaiah Naidu is the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Is not the correct answer. Is Om Birla. Okay. Now next is, just now we have discussed all these things. After this topic, we have to learn about Rajya Sabha. If you have the book, you can take help of your book also, because I have not prepared the slide, because the same thing should not be repeated again and again. It will make you bored also. So today, look at your book. You are free to ask the question, right? And just now I'm going to discuss about the Rajya Sabha. Like Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha is also a house of parliament. As we know, without passing bill by both the houses, it cannot be sent to the president for signature to be law. To make law, the consent of the both house is very necessary. The Rajya Sabha is composition of Rajya Sabha is quite different to the Lok Sabha. The maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. Out of these, 12 members are nominated by the President of India and the remaining 238 are elected from the states and union territories by the elected members of the state legislative assembly. Right? The 12 nominated members are distinguished, highly popular personality who excel in various fields of art, literature, science, social service, sports, etc. So in this way, what have you learned about the composition of Rajya Sabha? You know, the Rajya Sabha maximum number of the Rajya Sabha member is 250. Out of 250, 238 members are elected by the states and the union territories. The elected members of Legislative Assembly cast vote for the member of Rajya Sabha. Is it clear? Next, remaining 12 members are nominated, selected by the President. President is not free, quietly free, to nominate any person. Those person can be, from those group of the person can be nominated who are very popular or distinguished personality in the field of art, literature, science, social science, sports, etc., film. Now, so in this way, this is the facts regarding the formation of Rajya Sabha. Right? You have heard the name of Govinda, Rekha, these heroines. They were also nominated, right? Govinda already have got the seat to elect Lok Sabha seat. Now, so there are so many personalities who were nominated by the president for Rajya Sabha. Now, what is the qualification of a person to be the member of Rajya Sabha? Who can be a member of Rajya Sabha? You know, a person who is Indian and not less than 30 years of his age, and his name should be written in voter list, right? Such person can contest election, right? First is what? He or she must be Indian. Next, his or her age should not be less than 30 years. And his or her name must be in voter list. Okay? These are the qualifications of a person to be the member of Rajya Sabha. Okay? One important fact you should learn, people do not participate directly in the election of Rajya Sabha members. The members are elected indirectly by the state legislators, elected MLAs only. Delhi is not a state, yet its assembly elects 3 members to the Rajya Sabha because there is the state assembly in Delhi. So in this way, what have you learned? The member of Lok Sabha is directly elected by the people, while Rajya Sabha member is indirectly elected by the people. Okay? All the people who are 18 years old can cast votes for the member of Lok Sabha, while in the election of the member of Rajya Sabha, only the elected MLAs can cast the vote. These are the differences. Is it clear? Now next, there is also some rules and regulation regarding election and tenure. Okay? Unlike Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house which can never be dissolved. Right? You have learned that in class 7 you have learned that on state level or in the state legislature, legislative council is called the permanent house. Why? Because this house is never dissolved. No doubt, the member of the house gets retirement after completing 6 years in course of every 2 years. Just like that, Rajya Sabha is also called the permanent house because it cannot be dissolved. It is never dissolved. After every 2 years, 1/3 of its members retire, and to fill up the post, fresh elections are held to fill these seats. Therefore, each member of Rajya Sabha has a term of 6 years. since it is never dissolved, it is why it is called permanent house, right? So this is the election and tenure. Now, like uh, Rajya Sabha Speaker, there is head of Rajya Sabha also. The Vice President of India is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, right? Here, ex officio means a person who has already been hold a post, right? A person who has hold two posts at the same time, or a person who has hold a post and is naturally declared the head of the other office, that is called ex officio. In short, you can understand ex officio means by virtue of being in office or holding an official position. Whoever becomes the vice president is naturally declared the chairperson or head of the Rajya Sabha. In this way, the Vice President of India is an ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. The head of Lok Sabha is called Speaker, but the head of the Rajya Sabha is known as chairperson, right? Like Rajya Sabha Speaker, his action is same. His duty is also to some extent same. He presides over the meeting of Rajya Sabha first. Second, he conducts its proceedings and in process. Third, he or she maintains the discipline and decorum of the house. Okay. But the vice president is not the member of the house, right? So he or she cannot vote on any issue, whereas the Lok Sabha speaker can cast vote. Like deputy speaker, in Rajya Sabha, there is also a deputy chairperson or chairman who are elected amongst its members, and he performs the duties of the chairman in his or her absence. Is it clear? This is the work of the presiding officer or the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Now, one question through your chat, you can tell me, who is the present chairman of Rajya Sabha? Right? Who is the present chairman of Rajya Sabha? Very good answer. Venkaiah Naidu. And who is the Vice President of India? Who is the Vice President of India? The same one, Venkaiah Naidu. Very good. That is why this post is called an ex officio post. He is the Vice President of India, so he is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Because as per the rule of written in our constitution, the Vice President will be the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Thank you very much. Very good answer. Thanks a lot to you all. Now next is power and function of Union Parliament. You can trace out the main fact in your book also. Actually, what happened, I have prepared the slides also, PPT, on this topic, but due to the disturbance of electric supply, I could not save it. Next day, again in short, when I will revise this topic, I will give you. But here, the same facts you are getting. So by the help of book, you can understand it. And whenever you have the problem, you can ask through your chat box. Here, main points I am going to discuss. Powers and functions of Union Parliament, right? Actually, the Union legislature is known as Parliament. And you know, the Union legislature means the law-making body at central level, right? Law-making body at the central level. So first work is what? You see the second line of your book also. It makes laws on all the subjects. Enlisted in the union list, the concurrent list, and residuary subjects, right? Under the special circumstances, it can also make laws on the subjects given in the state list. Then how will you write point wise? First you will write power and functions. First, Parliament is the highest lawmaking body. Parliament is the main law-making body at central level. Second, it makes laws on all the subjects given in union list, concurrent list, and residuary power lists. Third, the parliament can make laws on the subject mentioned in state list also if it is concerned with the interest of nation. If it relates, if it is related with the national importance. In short, Parliament can make law on all the subjects. In this way, these are the 3-4 points. Now, next point is what? All the bills are, the proposal of all the bills are introduced in Parliament, right? Fourth or fifth point, without acceptance of the Parliament, no bill can be made law. Is it clear? Next one, sometimes what happened, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha disagreed with each other over any bill or any topic. In such a case, joint meeting is called. And this joint meeting is held in, this is joint meeting of Parliament. So Parliament conducts joint meeting to decide or take decision about any disputed topic or the topic over which both the houses are disagreed with each other. Is it clear? Money bill only can be introduced in Lok Sabha, while ordinary bill can be introduced in any house. So these are the power and function of Lok Sabha. Parliament. Next point is what? This is the legislative power. Now, second important power and function is what? Parliament control over the executive. Executive means Council of Ministers and Presidents also. Here, Council of Ministers mean Prime Minister and their ministers. First, what you will write? It keeps control on the Council of Ministers because Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. Can you tell me why they are collectively responsible? Why they are collectively responsible? because all of them are selected from the legislature. All of them are selected from the legislature. I mean, only the elected MP can be appointed as the ministers in general way, right? So one who is the minister or prime minister must have the membership of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Is it clear? It is why they are responsible to the Lok Sabha. Responsible here means they cannot ignore the existence of Lok Sabha or Parliament. They cannot overlook the expectation that they could not ignore the limitations or to the Lok Sabha, right? So they are. Now, next one, how they can control. Actually, there are basically two ways to control first of all, you know, no confidence, a vote of no confidence is passed against any one minister. I mean, if any minister does wrongs or takes any illegal, impractical action against the people of India, the parliament can use the vote of no confidence in the parliament, right? Here, no confidence means if this type of bill is passed against any minister or the council of ministers, that council of ministers is to be resigned or is suspended or dissolved. Here, no confidence means parliament says that it has no confidence, no belief in the majority of the government, party of the government. And this is the rule that only majority party can make the form the executive, I mean council of ministers, or can be his leader can be appointed as prime minister. A council of minister had always be ready to prove that they are the majority party members. By passing no confidence, the opposition party proves that they are not in majority. And if it is proved that the government party is not in the majority, the government has to be dissolved. The government cannot function, right? So this is the way to control the executive. And third one is what? Parliament has right to ask the question to the executives, I mean council of ministers, about their different actions, programs, schemes, and the steps taken by them. Expenditure that they are allowed to expense regarding all these matters. Any member, I mean especially the opposition party, ask the reason, ask for information. So in this way, it controls the executive, and executive cannot be unlimited, uncontrolled. Now next one is financial power, right? The annual budget of the central government is passed by the parliament. You know, government needs a lot of money to expense for different works, right? And not any member of government is free to use even 1 rupees without the approval of the Parliament. So money bill, all the financial actions are to be approved by the Parliament. So annual budget is passed. As you know, the meaning of budget is what? The income and expenditure of a certain period in the form of document, right? So in this way, this is called budget. The annual budget of the central government is passed by the Parliament every year. The government cannot impose any tax without the permission of Parliament. No expenditure can be incurred or done by the without the approval of Parliament. Lok Sabha money bill is passed introduced in Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha is very powerful, more powerful than Rajya Sabha, because if the money bill is passed by the Lok Sabha and sent to the Rajya Sabha for pass or to pass it, suppose if Rajya Sabha oppose it, neglect it, and send some recommendation to improve, it depends on the will of the Lok Sabha whether it should be accepted or not. Lok Sabha can reject the recommendation of Rajya Sabha over the money bill, and money bill is passed only by the Lok Sabha, right? If Rajya Sabha makes any recommendation regarding a money bill, Lok Sabha may or may not accept it. Now our time is going to over because due to the net connectivity, 2 minutes more I have discussed. So I'm going to unmute you all. You can ask the question, right? Open your